All right, guys, here we are on Cloud Kingdom, and up at the top of the map, our Protoss player in the yellow from the team Type. It is real. He's real. And in the bottom of the map at the 6 o'clock position in the red from the team Dream Team Gaming, formerly of the team Prime, it is Netty.
Netty.
Netty Prime.
Call me
Dream Team Netty. Dream
Netty.
Team Netty.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie.
Yeah.
That was. I
Kung
like
Pao,
that movie.
Enter the Fist. One of my favorite
Okay.
guilty. That's one of my favorite guilty pleasure
Yeah,
movies of
I know
all
what you mean,
time.
man.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
I
Yeah.
can't look at anyone with a straight face and say, yes, that is one of the most
Truly
high
a
quality movies of all
masterpiece
time.
Cinema.
That's right. But I can't look at someone and be like, that's a lot of nuts. And then I laugh, and it's okay. So.
Yep. You won't find a triumph of the human spirit on the back of that DVD box, but it is a great movie anyway. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's true.
I'll allow it. Okay, well.
In a world where. Never mind.
Simba.
Joe Simba. I've got to stop. I've got to stop
Well,
and
we will
concentrate on this game. I'm
quote
sorry. Because that's the
Kung
thing.
Pao all day.
That's the thing. That's one of those movies, Kung Pao, like Zoolander, Anchorman. Those are those movies where you can literally just sit there and quote them for hours.
You should be able to defeat him now.
See, it's...
What? You
gotta-
should be able to defeat him now. Anyway.
You really could go all day. Space Shark has seen those movies. He could go all day too, man.
No kidding. Space Shark's got our back until he stops
True.
moving here in a second because vision's
Oh,
off of him.
no, he's frozen in time. His eyes are... Wait, look at that. His eyes are smoking. Can you zoom in? Do you still have that on?
No, it's not on.
But look at that. I
Go to the
swear there's like
side.
bubbles coming out of his... maybe those are his gill things on top of his head?
I think so.
It could be.
I believe so.
It's a bit odd. I don't know. With Space Shark, who knows? No, I've never dissected a space shark. I don't know the physiology.
Yes.
I don't know the biological makeup of space sharks, so one can only guess.
I believe Space Shark has a Twitter account, though, so he'll be able to let us know.
It's true. He'll be like, I want to hear about his body.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Hey. Okay.
Space Shark is it's making me... Never mind.
Oh.
I'm never going to let you live that one down.
No, I'm all right with it. I've owned up to it. I can't wait to see cats again. So, so here at the top right corner, Real, pretty predictable stuff at this point. Could just very well be a one-gate expand. Now, his opponent choosing ESC Cloud Kingdom was kind of a cool choice as well. Deciding maybe to take it away from anyone else in case a Zerg player, jumps into the map, doesn't want to see that, and but for the time being, he's going for a factory. He's got one gas up. Will he go for a second? If he does, we're going to see some incredibly heavy aggression. As it stands now, this is still going to be pretty intense, and it looks like he's thinking about a reactor right here.
Yeah, could be
Reactor Hellion opening.
Yeah, there's a lot of openings now. I mean, back in the day when someone saw a factory in TVP, they'd be like, oh no, it's 1-1-1. But now there's so many different options. You can go Reactor Hellion into Bio if you want to expand. You can go Reactor Hellion into Banshee. You can do like Siege Tank Marine Banshee expand and kind of play that style like Nado was doing for a while. So TVP has finally changed a little bit. It's a much more developed matchup now than it was maybe 4 or 5 months ago in terms of openings Terran players can do. Yeah, and there's a command center right now. So it's actually very rare that you see someone go for like the straight up Puma style 1-1-1 these days, And
this offers a lot of flexibility as well. It's very simple afterwards to move back into, Marine Tank Banshee, Nada style almost if you want to. We already see a Tech Lab coming down, and it looks like a Zerg opening or an anti-Zerg opening as you would think, but the same sort of principle applies. I mean, those pushes in the mid game that involve a handful of tanks are very, very strong.
They can be. Yeah.
And Real, on the other hand, no real surprise, oh, God. Puts down his expansion, then moves into a robotic facility and a second gate right afterwards.
Yep, no real surprise there.
Yeah.
Wants to get that observer out. He wants to be able to see what his opponent is doing, obviously.
Right.
And I think he did. I think he might have got a glimpse of the factory. Well, that probe got a glimpse of factory units, so it should be very apparent that he has a little bit of time, too, before he really needs to worry about any sort of early push. So teching at this point is going to be just fine for him.
This could be a strong 10-minute push, though, especially if he adds on a couple of additional. Yeah, if he adds on a couple of additional barracks, especially, he's going to be able to hit with a ton of Marines and tanks here in just a bit.
So we'll have to see what he has planned. It certainly looks like that. You called it Nada style. I think that's not a bad name for it because he was kind of the person who did it the most, and I think had the most refined version of it, where you have that Marine tank. Usually Banshee's added on a little bit later sort of style, although you can do medevacs too. But I actually like the style where you skip stim and you get Banshees instead of medevacs, and that seems to be generally, I feel, a little bit more useful in this matchup because Marines die so quickly to Colossus. You want them to have as many hit points as possible during the fight. And then the Banshees can obviously cloak and do tons of damage, harass, and things like that. So we'll see what he's got in mind.
Now, that Hellion sees absolutely nothing out of the ordinary, which is very important. I mean, he sees 3-gate Robo at this stage in the game. That's totally standard. He didn't see any 3rd or 4th gas coming up either. No Robotics Bay, no double forges. That does tell him a lot, even if it does look very blank and kind of normal to him at the moment.
And so he's kind of got to be wondering a little bit, kind of piggybacking on what you were saying. Is it going to be a Twilight Council? Is it going to be a Robotics Bay? You know, is it going to be some forges? What are we going to see here? Looks like, oh, the Observer spotted by those Marines, maybe. Nope, they lose it. No, they do see it.
Yeah, trying to make their way back. Oh, a little bit of a preemptive scan there, and it is going to get out. Oh,
we got it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's scan range, man. It's,
no kidding.
It's pretty big.
Did it show that? No, it meant the whole screen, so.
That's right.
All right. Well, anyway. 2 more barracks coming up now. No real surprise. No starport has been added on quite yet. Did I just see one? There it is. All right. So we do have a starport coming up now, and it looks like it's building the factory's actually building a reactor. So, yeah, we're going to have a switch into medevacs.
Yep, it's going to be bio out of this. You know, like I mentioned earlier, this has become fairly common. Ooh, I like the double engineering bays with this as well. His upgrades are going to be pretty good. In fact, he's actually going to have upgrades going a little bit quicker than TAC3 will. TAC3 has 1 forge done now, so he's going to be able to get like +1 armor if he wants to or something like that. But the double upgrades from Netty are going to kind of overrule that for a little bit of the game here.
Very much so. And those engineering bays are just finishing up. So another observer makes its way in, but it looks like it's going to be spotted once again by Netty.
Good.
Very well done. This is Jockji levels of picking off observers.
Kidding. Yeah, seriously. It's like, I don't know. I'm no pro player, but I think a lot of people would agree that it's kind of tough to spot observers on these maps.
Yeah, but to do it on such a consistent basis is very impressive. TAC3 going to go ahead and take a 3rd base now. He moved up to gateways number 4 and 5. I believe that's all. Yep, Templar Archives following this. No Robotics Bay, so... Excuse me, a Mortal Templar, maybe some Archons added on here in a second. May decide to go into Quick Storm, too.
Yeah, Storm would be good in this case. I mean, if you can catch your opponent's army in the middle of the map and they're not expecting Storm, you can do a ton of damage. You can shut that down so hard. But here comes that little quick push from Dream Team Gaming's Netty. And is TAC3 prepared for this? He's not going to have a whole lot here. I mean, he's researching Storm. He's getting upgrades. It's pretty good timing for a Terran player.
Well, no combat shields are finished up either, and obviously he revealed that he didn't have any concussive shells done at the time. So these are fairly unupgraded bio units, but still, this is still a staggering amount of units, and it hits at a good time because TAC3 is just invested in 400 minerals into a base. That's not sitting as 4 zealots on the field. 4 additional zealots on top of this army could make the difference in the fight. So certainly,
we got another one.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, being able to see those like that, that's pretty good.
We were joking because in Team Arena Challenge 2, Jockji picked off every observer he saw. It almost became a meme in and of itself. But and I'm looking forward to seeing him and Enes Hosa start playing again next week. But
for sure.
Still, though, that's pretty ridiculous.
I like this pressure that Netty's putting onto the 3rd base right now. He's also sending out that drop as well to sort of look at things, and the Marine chasing the probe away, too, to try to get that dropship, those dropships some time to get into the base.
That's right. Yeah, very well done. Yep. And Netty just going to make his way around and, starting to put on pressure onto this Nexus, so he's going to pull even more units out of position. Does not look like TAC3 is biting on this, though. He knows that something is going to happen, and indeed, the drop is starting to make its way in. However, that may just give Netty a free base.
Oh, wow. It certainly might. I mean, he's got to choose. He's got to defend one of these things. And look at this, the Nexus goes down to the 3rd and the 2nd base Nexus, a natural Nexus, taking a little bit of damage as well, and both medevacs get away just fine. Not a single unit lost. What a great engagement. All Netty needs to do is just pull back now, and he will be in perfect shape, and that's exactly what he's doing. Great TVP so far from Dream Team Gaming's Netty.
Yeah, wasn't even able to drop down a feedback or anything along those lines.
Yeah.
One Marine does go down, but the forward pylon is cleaned out. There's another one on the left-hand side of the map, but nothing really to take advantage of that. So the 3rd command center is finished now for Netty as well. He's morphing that into an orbital command so we can start to saturate that 3rd. He's sitting on a well-developed economy, and everything's just looking, as you mentioned before, just spectacular for him.
Yep, probe count actually a little bit low for TAC3. He's only at 45 right now, which is a little bit lower than you probably want to have at this point in the game. He has, oh, never mind, he lost a couple. Suddenly I forgot about the drop that happened 30 seconds ago. Yeah, he lost some probes. But
yes, he did.
My point remains, his pro count isn't where he wants it to be.
That's true. That is a fact.
That is a true statement.
Oh, well, we have no Templar back here. I'm a little surprised about that. Even just one Templar in addition to the Photon Cannon makes your anti-drop defense so much more stout. So, well, it looks like Real wants to put on some pressure as he reestablishes his third. But here it comes now. Oh, Templar starting to finally make their way in, and Feebax will kill them. Yeah, and both the Medivacs do go down. So Netty actually not going to get a lot done with this. But Real trying to make his way in. No, actually decides to pull back for the moment.
Yep, killed a probe or two, but that was about it. And wow, he's able to actually take out the Marine, but Archon is not going to have any of this.
No, he disapproves.
That's right. Archon disapproves.
There's really no one else you want disapproving of what you're doing. I mean, that's pretty frightening if you think about it.
An Archon disapprove of you is like having two different people do it too, you know? It's like the double disapproval.
Yeah. Do they like unmerge, look at each other, just slowly shake their head and come back and say no?
That's right. They shake their head, but their frown is like twice as effective. You just feel like twice as guilty when an Archon is disappointed in you.
I suppose.
Yeah.
There's an awful imposing figure right there.
It's rough, you know?
Yeah.
And pretty big army retreating.
That's true.
Real here, he wants to save that third base again, and Netty moving out with a very strong-looking army himself. Really good amount of Medivacs, too. I mean, this is something that Terran players have started to do to sort of compensate for the AoE damage that Protoss armies bring, is just make a ton of Medivacs, a lot. Doesn't need to make Vikings right now, too, so it's a good opportunity to get it.
That's exactly what I was about to say. There's no threat of Colossi on the field right now, so he can commit over these Medivacs. Just having the threat of Colossi out there and forcing your opponent to switch between Vikings is usually so effective. Oh, here we go, though.
Whoops, the tanks.
Oh, it's a pure bio army now, and Netty does get away with everything that wasn't a tank for the most part. So turns around, engages, does stim up as he's forced to kind of run out of there. So Real still has a very powerful army along with those upgrades. Just sitting on +1 armor. That's it. 1-2 finished up now for Netty.
I think he just killed one of his Marines. No, that was a Zealot. Never mind.
That would have been sad.
Yeah, I know.
Would have cried a bit.
You're too slow.
That Observer's days are numbered.
He's got to try to save that fourth base. No, he actually does cancel it. And yeah, that Observer, he doesn't know what game he's joined, man. That's not good. Oh, no, more units for Netty being caught out of position. Some big mistakes in army management here at this point in the game for a Terran player.
Big storm, but he's just going to stim up and go for it. He's going to run in directly into the natural now, and this is going to be a very dicey situation. Real decides he wants to move back, but of course he doesn't have the advantage of stim, so his units are pretty slow, and unfortunately for him, he's going to lose at least a base, and a lot of his production is going to be camped as well.
Oh, man, this is such a dangerous move here for Netty to do. It could pay off big time, but it could also backfire. We'll have to see how Real handles it, but he will lose a ton of production facilities.
Oh my god. 2 Nexuses, almost all of the gateways. That is pretty incredible, and picking off a lot of units as well. This Templar does get EMP'd out. It does not have any energy whatsoever. Looks like he's trying to pick up and get out of there. AoE takes out 1, 2, 3 Medivacs. Oh, doesn't quite get that fourth as well. That would have been a good gain, but unfortunately for Netty, he's going to lose every one of his Nexuses.
That's right. Well, I think the one in the main survived barely, but he's certainly going to lose the one at the third and the second, too.
Pretty much all the mining bases.
Wow, that was such a bold move from Netty, but it ended up working out pretty well. I mean, that's a pretty good trade. I would trade some Medivacs and some units for what he did just there. That was awesome.
No kidding. Critically supply blocked. This is it for his mining. He's got to reestablish 2 bases ASAP, and during that entire time, he will be producing no units.
He almost just kind of needs to go for it. Netty knows that. He's pulling back to stay a little bit more defensive. What sort of army does he have? He is 40 supply up on his opponent, but okay, now he does have Ghosts too, so that's going to be a big deal. Does he see the Observer?
He better.
Does he?
Don't let me down. Don't let me down, Netty.
Oh,
well, he's letting me down. Well, let's see. There's a few Ghosts, as you mentioned, that are included in this army now. I'm not sure where they're sitting at the moment, but probably... yep, he scanned. He picked it off.
Nice.
Bye-bye, Observer.
Yep, catches that Templar as well. Another scan to see where the army is, and he's in pretty good shape all around. Those Templar are actually a bit clumped here. Kind of dangerous positioning the way that Real is doing this, losing another Templar at that pylon there. Netty's sending out a little strike force of Ghosts, trying to get some sick EMPs on that army, and if he does, this game is all but over.
Did the
EMPs do anything?
No, not really. He landed 1, now 2, but it's more just the crushing force of his army. He does take a couple of storms, so yeah, so some of his units are getting pretty low. He's going to have to back up, but he still is at a 50 supply advantage. Real going to try and duck his way into the natural, but of course there's already some units waiting for him.
Kind of a last-ditch effort for Real right now. He needs to actually win the game with this army if he's going to win it all, and the energy on those Templar is only going to last so long. I think Netty can just kind of wait it out. In fact, the energy pretty much gone. The last Templar goes down with one last storm, and that is it. GG.
Yeah, so there it is. Netty has taken the game back for Dream